Hey guys, it's Steph from DebtFreeSpending.com, and I'm here this evening and we're about 8 months pregnant, so we have a little ways to go, but just know that if we don't have a video for a couple weeks, you'll know it's probably because of the baby game. But tonight we're going to be talking about how you're never going to lose an item again, and I'm really excited because I've been using these strategies the last couple months and they totally work, so that's why I'm so excited to share them with you. So we're just going to jump right in. The first one that we're going to talk about is being organized. And if you're not familiar, we have 35 days to an organized home challenge post on our blog that I will put in the description below. I'll put a link to that. And we also have an ebook that's had like over 12,000 downloads called 25 Days to an Organized Home on Amazon that you can download on your Kindle right now as well. And I'll have a link to that. So your first line of defense against losing something is to be organized. Because if you're organized, you're obviously doing the opposite of losing stuff. You know where it is, it has a place, you have a system in place. And so we're going to keep going here. The second one is to have a launch pad. That was like our second or third video in the 35-day challenge, and that's just basically a place where you put everything every day. We actually have two launch pads kind of in a way. One where we put all of our like book bag, pocketbook, type items, our coats, our shoes, they all go in one spot right beside our door so that when we head out the door, everything's right there. And then we also have a spot where we put our keys, cell phones, and all the smaller items that we don't want to get lost in the shuffle, and they always go in the same place. So if you have a launch pad where things always go, then you don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, did I put that there or not? The third tip that we want to give you is that if you come in the door, one of the worst times that we lose things is when we're in times of transition. You're transitioning from work to home, from getting the groceries out of the car into the house. Okay, we've always called them transition time in our family. And they're just times of where you're moving from one task to the next task. And so that's when we tend to lay things down because we're thinking about the next task or the task in hand, and you've got something in your hand and maybe you lay it down. And that may still happen from time to time, but one thing you can actually do is when you're in transition time and you know you might lose something, say it out loud. Something like, keys on the counter. And believe it or not, as dumb as you may feel in your house doing that, which I've been doing this, I just say keys on counter. As crazy as it sounds, it totally works. And one example that in my personal life that I use this with all the time is I was always one of those people that was afraid that I forgot to unplug my hot iron or my hair dryer. And so every day, and this totally works, I will look at the outlets where all of those things are plugged in and I'll say unplugged. And then I'll even do like a motion with it sometimes so that I know that I looked and I can remember making the motion and doing that, saying that word, and it totally puts my mind at ease because I know that I remember doing that. It's much easier to remember doing something if you have an action or a word with it than if you just did it half asleep in the morning and you're getting ready to go out the door. It's much easier for me to remember it when I've said it out loud. So say it out loud and visualize it as well. I also picture the 4 outlets empty when I say it out loud, and that has really helped me. So maybe you want to, if you're going to be setting something down, visualize where you put it and say it out loud. Make sure you're looking, make sure you're paying attention, because usually, like I said, it's because you're distracted. So we need to focus or pay attention to what we're doing when we're trying not to lose something. And so that's generally, something that is, tiny or, small, something that you might be afraid to lose. But again, there are certain things that, when you're organizing, especially papers, you have to be extremely careful to make sure that you're laying items in organized folders, or that's why I have all the binder free printables for you on the blog as well, because keeping things in binders is really a good way of staying organized and not losing things as well. The fifth thing that we're going to talk about really quickly are apps. There's apps like Find My Phone, so that if you lose your phone, you can actually call it and it'll beep, or you can do different things and it'll make it beep so you can find it. There are actually new devices that go with apps called like a Cobra Tag, where it's a little tag that you put on your keys, and then there's an app on your phone, and if you hit it, an alarm will go off. Linkit is the same thing, Linquet. It's just something I read about on Mashable. There's a couple different newer items but these do cost money. Personally, I like the say it out loud and the visualize the best because they really help me to do something, like not lose something on my own. I don't have to spend a bunch of money. But if the app is free, then for me that that's kind of a win-win. So it depends on how much money you want to spend. But these are some great ways to stay organized, again, and not lose things. And we really want to make sure that we save you the stress of not losing items, because you know how stressful that can be. Well, hope you guys have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.